The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with beings from 100 different worlds. Some had scales, some had fur, and some had bodies made of light. They all sat in their assigned places, watching the center platform where the day's business would happen. The air smelled of different atmospheres mixed together, and translation devices hummed quietly as they turned alien words into something everyone could understand. High Arbiter Velok stood at the center platform. He was tall, even for a Kreth. His green scales shone under the lights, and his yellow eyes moved slowly across the room. He was proud. His people were proud. The Kreeth Dominion controlled 40 star systems, and their military was feared across the galaxy. Today, Velok wanted more. The humans, he said, his voice deep and rough, have held their trade routes for too long. They are newcomers. They left their small planet only 300 years ago. Why should they have the same rights as species who have traveled the stars for thousands of years? Many in the council nodded. Humans were strange to them. They looked weak. They had no claws, no armor, no natural weapons. Their bodies were soft and broke easily. Yet somehow, they had spread across dozens of worlds in a very short time. Commander Tesu sat in the human section with his team. He was a calm man, with short black hair and steady eyes. He had commanded the exploration vessel Horizon's Edge for 15 years, and he had seen many things in the dark between stars. He had learned to stay quiet when others wanted him to speak. He had learned to watch when others wanted him to act. Next to him sat Dr. Yuna. She was younger, with bright eyes that were always looking for something interesting. She studied dead civilizations. She dug through ruins and read languages that no one had spoken for millions of years. She held a small data pad close to her chest. On that data pad was something important. Something that could change everything. The humans should lose their protected roots, Velok continued. They should pay tribute to older species. They should know their place. Counselor Morath, an elder of the Silken Collective, raised one of her many arms. Her people looked like beautiful insects with wings of colored light. They were old and wise, and usually stayed out of arguments. High Arbiter, Morath said softly. Perhaps we should hear from the humans before we vote. It is only fair. Velok's jaw tightened, but he nodded. He was certain of his victory. Let the humans speak. It would change nothing. Commander Tesu stood slowly. Every eye in the council turned to him. Thank you, Counselor Morath, he said. His voice was calm, almost gentle. Before I speak, I would like Dr. Yuna to share something with the council. Something her team found recently. Dr. Yuna walked to the center platform. She connected her datapad to the main display, and suddenly the air above the platform filled with light. Ancient symbols appeared, glowing gold and blue. The council members leaned forward. These were precursor symbols. The precursors had vanished 1,000,000 years ago, and their writing was rare and precious. 3 months ago, Doctor, Yuna said, my team found a precursor archive on a dead moon in the outer systems. It took us weeks to translate it. The message inside was simple. It was a warning. She touched her datapad, and the symbols changed into words that everyone could read. Do not wake the humans from their cradle world. Do not provoke them. Do not corner them. They are kind until they are not, and then, stars die. The council was silent. Then Velok laughed. It was a loud, harsh sound that echoed through the hall. Other Kreth joined him, their rough voices filling the air. This is your defense, Velok said. Old stories? Superstition? The precursors are dust. They have been dust for 1,000,000 years. Their warnings mean nothing. The precursors were the most advanced civilization in galactic history, Doctor, Yuna said quietly. They built things we still cannot understand. Why would they write this warning? Why would they repeat it in 17 different languages? Velok waved his clawed hand. Because they were fools. Because they were afraid of everything. They are gone. And we are here. That is all that matters. He turned to the council. I call for an immediate vote. Strip the humans of their trade routes. Let them learn respect for their betters. Commander Taesu raised his hand. May I speak? Velok smiled. It was not a kind smile. Speak, human. It will not help you. Taesu walked to the center of the platform. He was shorter than Velok, and he had no claws or fangs. He looked small standing there, but his eyes were steady, and his voice did not shake. High Arbiter Velok, he said. The Kreth Dominion has 40 star systems. You have a powerful military. You have been traveling the stars for 6,000 years. Velok nodded proudly. Humanity left Earth 300 years ago. Taesu continued. In that time, we have built colonies on 72 worlds. We have mapped more space than any other species. We have made friends with peoples across the galaxy. He paused. We have also made note of those who are not our friends. Velok's eyes narrowed. Is that a threat, human? No, Taesu said. It is a fact. Humanity does not make threats. We make promises. He looked around the council chamber. If this council votes to take our trade routes, we will not fight the decision. We respect the law. We will follow the ruling. Velok looked surprised. He had expected anger. He had expected demands and arguments. This quiet acceptance confused him. But, Taesu said, and now his voice was harder, we will remember. Humanity always remembers. And one day, High Arbiter, you may wish that we had forgotten. He turned and walked back to his seat. Dr. Yuna followed him. The council was quiet. Councillor Morath spoke. Perhaps we should delay the vote. Perhaps we should study this precursor warning more carefully. No, Velok said quickly. We vote now. The humans have accepted that they will follow the ruling. Let us make that ruling. The vote was held. It was not close. The Kreth had many allies, and many species were happy to see humanity pushed down. Humans made them uncomfortable. Humans learned too fast, adapted too quickly, asked too many questions. The motion passed. Humanity lost their protected trade routes. Velok smiled at Commander Taesu across the council chamber. His yellow eyes were bright with victory. Taesu looked back at him. He did not smile. He did not frown. His face showed nothing at all. That night, Dr. Yuna sat with Taesu on the observation deck of their ship. Stars filled the window, millions of points of light in the endless dark. They did not listen, she said. They did not even consider the warning. Taesu nodded slowly. They never do. The precursors warned them. We warned them. But people like Velok do not understand warnings. They only understand consequences. What happens now? Taesu was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was sad. Now we wait, we watch. And when the Kreth make their next mistake, and they will make one, we will show them why the precursors were afraid. He looked out at the stars. We will show them what happens when you ignore the warning about humans. New Busan was a beautiful world. It had green forests and blue oceans and mountains that touched the clouds. 3 million humans lived there, in cities that mixed nature with technology. Children played in parks while their parents worked and laughed and built their lives under an alien sun. Governor Subin loved this world. She had come here as a young woman 30 years ago, when the colony was just a few buildings in a valley. Now, it was her home, and these people were her family. She would do anything to protect them. That was why, when the Kreth fleet appeared in orbit, she did not panic. How many ships? She asked her staff. 47, said Lieutenant Haun. She was young, with quick hands and sharp eyes. She handled communications for the colony, and right now her screens were full of warning lights. They say they are here for a security inspection. Security inspection, Captain Dong-hyuk repeated. He was a military man, built strong and trained hard. His defensive fleet was small, only 12 ships, but he trusted his crews. Governor, that is not an inspection fleet. Those are warships. Heavy cruisers. Assault carriers. I know what they are, Subin said calmly. I also know what they want. General Karak commanded the Kreeth fleet. He was a veteran of many battles, and he had never lost. His scales were dark gray, marked with scars from old fights. He served High Arbiter Velok loyally, and Velok had given him clear orders. Make the humans attack first. Give the Dominion a reason to take their worlds. Karak was good at his job. His shuttles landed at the main spaceport of New Busan. Kreeth soldiers marched out in their armor, carrying weapons that could burn through metal. They did not ask for permission. They did not wait to be greeted. They simply walked into the city and began their inspection. They searched homes. They opened private containers. They took things they said were suspicious and never returned them. They stopped humans on the street and demanded identification. They were rude and rough and made sure everyone knew that the Kreeth were in control now. Governor Subin watched all of this. Her hands were tight at her sides, but her face was calm. Let me engage them, Captain Donghyuk said. His voice was hard. My ships can take theirs. We can end this now. No, Subin said. Governor, they are taking our people. They are stealing our property. They are treating us like slaves. I know, and we will not give them what they want. Donghyuk stared at her. What they want? They want us to fight. They want us to shoot first. Then they can tell the galaxy that humans are violent and dangerous. They can take all our worlds. Not just this one. Subin turned to face him. I will not let 3 million people suffer because we could not control our anger. Donghyuk was quiet. Then he nodded slowly. What do you want us to do? Stand down. All weapons offline. All soldiers in their barracks. We will not raise a single hand against them. And if they keep pushing, Subin's eyes were hard. Then we let them push, and we remember everything they do. Lieutenant Ha-un worked through the night. She set up hidden cameras all over the colony. She recorded every Kreeth soldier, every stolen item, every frightened face. She sent everything through a quantum channel to Earth Command, a channel that the Kreeth could not find or break. Days passed. The Kreeth grew more aggressive. They broke into food stores and took what they wanted. They stopped human ships from leaving the planet. They set up checkpoints on every road and searched anyone who passed. And still, the humans did nothing. General Karak was confused. He had fought many species, and all of them had broken by now. They had attacked in anger or begged for mercy. But these humans just watched. They stepped aside when his soldiers passed. They answered questions. Politely. They never shouted or threatened. It made him angry. He needed a reaction. He needed violence. Without it, he could not justify a full invasion. So he created a reason. 3 human farmers were arrested outside the city. Karak said they were spies. He said they had been sending military information to Earth. He did not have proof because there was no proof. These were simple people who grew food and raised animals. They had never hurt anyone. It did not matter to Karak. He held a trial that lasted 10 minutes. He found them guilty, and then, in front of cameras that broadcast across the galaxy, he executed them. Governor Subin watched the broadcast with her staff. The room was silent. Ha-un had tears on her face. Donghyuk's hands were shaking. Now, Donghyuk whispered. Now we have to fight. No, Subin said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were bright with pain. We remember their names. We record their faces. And we wait. Wait for what? For Earth to answer. Lieutenant Ha-un sent the final report. Everything, every recording, every stolen item, every moment of abuse, and now these 3 innocent deaths. She sent it all to Earth Command, and waited. The response came quickly. It was a single word. Received. Then every human channel in the galaxy went silent. New Busan stopped broadcasting. Earth stopped broadcasting. Every human colony, every ship, every station, All of them went dark at the same moment. No messages, no signals, nothing but empty space where human voices used to be. General Karok stood on his command ship and stared at his screens. He had expected anger. He had expected threats. He had expected human warships jumping into orbit, ready to fight. Instead, there was silence. "What are they doing?" he asked his officers. No one could answer. Days passed. The silence continued. Karok sent messages to human space, but none came back. He sent scout ships to check on human colonies, but they found nothing. The humans were still there, still living their lives, but they would not talk, would not respond, would not acknowledge that the Kreeth existed. It was like they had become ghosts. Karok reported to High Arbiter Velok. "The humans are not responding. They have withdrawn completely." Velok laughed. "You see? They are cowards. They know they cannot win against us, so they hide. This is proof that we were right to take their trade routes. They are weak." "Perhaps," Karok said slowly, "but I have fought many enemies, High Arbiter. The ones who shout and threaten are not dangerous. The ones who go silent. What about them?" Karok remembered the look in Governor Subin's eyes when he killed those farmers. She had not looked afraid. She had not looked angry. She had looked patient, like she was waiting for something. "The ones who go silent," Karok said, "are the ones who are planning." Velok waved his hand. "Let them plan. They cannot defeat the Dominion. No one can." But that night, alone in his quarters, Karok thought about the precursor warning that the human doctor had shown the council. He thought about those ancient words, "They are kind until they are not, and then stars die." For the first time in his military life, General Karok felt something cold in his chest. He thought it might be fear. 2 weeks of silence, 14 days without a single human voice on any channel. 14 nights wondering what was happening in the dark spaces between stars where humanity lived. The galaxy had never been so quiet. On the Kreeth homeworld, High Arbiter Velok sat in his palace and tried to look confident. He held meetings with his advisors. He gave speeches about Kreeth strength and human weakness. He told everyone that the silence meant victory. But alone at night, he could not sleep. Spymaster Thesic was the head of Kreeth intelligence. He had spies everywhere. He had ships that could sneak through any defense. He had technology that could hear whispers from light years away. None of it worked on the humans. "Every probe we send into human space disappears," Thesic reported. His voice was flat, but his eyes showed worry. "Scout ships do not return. Long-range sensors show normal activity on human worlds. People moving. Ships flying. But we cannot get close enough to learn anything. It is like there is a wall around their space that we cannot pass." "Then build better probes," Velok snapped. "Send more scouts." "I have sent 47 scouts in 2 weeks, High Arbiter. None have returned. Not one." Velok was quiet. "They are not being destroyed." Thesic continued. "We would detect weapons, fire, explosions, something. They simply vanish, as if human space swallows them whole. That is impossible." "I agree. But it is happening." On Pelis 7, the Galactic Council met to discuss the human silence. The Great Hall was full, but the mood was different now. Species that had laughed at the precursor warning were not laughing anymore. Species that had voted against humanity were starting to regret it. Counselor Morath stood at the center platform. Her wings of light were dim with worry. "We must contact the humans," she said. "We must apologize for the trade route decision. We must return their colony and punish the Kreeth for their actions on New Busan." "The Kreeth have done nothing wrong," Velok said through a communication screen. He had refused to attend in person. "We conducted a legal inspection. We found spies and dealt with them according to law. You executed innocent farmers. We executed criminals. There was no evidence, no trial, no justice." Velok smiled his cold smile. There was Kreth justice. That is all that matters. Morath turned to the other council members. The humans have gone silent because we failed them. We let the Kreth abuse them and did nothing. If we want peace, we must act now, before it is too late. Some members nodded. Others looked away. No one wanted to make the Kreth angry. The Dominion was powerful, and Velok did not forgive those who opposed him. The vote to apologize to humanity failed. Morath sat down slowly. She was old, and had seen many things in her long life. She had seen wars and plagues and the fall of empires. But she had never felt this kind of dread. "You do not understand," she said quietly. "None of you understand. The silence is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is preparation." "Preparation for what?" someone asked. Morath looked at the empty seats where the human representatives used to sit. "For consequences." On the 15th day of silence, a message arrived at the Galactic Council. It came from Ambassador G1, humanity's representative. She had returned to Earth 2 weeks ago and had not been heard from since. Now, suddenly, she sent a single transmission. The message contained no words, no demands, no threats. It was a file. The file was the complete precursor archive that Dr. Yuna had found. But now it was fully translated, every word, every record, every piece of data that the ancient civilization had left behind. Counselor Morath was the first to open it. She read for hours. She could not stop. The information inside was terrible and amazing, and changed everything she thought she knew about the galaxy. The precursors had been real. They had been powerful, beyond imagination. They had commanded technologies that modern species could not understand. Machines that moved stars, weapons that tore holes in space, devices that could change the laws of nature itself. And 100,000 years ago, they had come to Earth. Humanity then was primitive. They lived in caves and hunted with stone tools. They had no technology, no cities, no writing. To the precursors, they were animals, resources to be used. The precursors tried to enslave them. What happened next was recorded in frightened messages from precursor commanders who did not understand what they were seeing. The humans should have died. They should have broken. They were facing the greatest power in galactic history with nothing but rocks and sticks. But humans did not break. They learned. They adapted. They watched the precursor machines and figured out how they worked. Within a single generation, a blink of an eye, in galactic terms, humans went from throwing stones to using precursor weapons against their masters. And they did not stop at freedom. The precursors tried to negotiate, tried to apologize, tried to run. It did not matter. Humanity did not want to defeat the precursors. They wanted to erase them. They wanted the galaxy to forget that the precursors had ever existed. They succeeded. The last precursor message was a warning to anyone who might find it in the future. The words were burned into Morath's mind. "We do not understand." They should not have been able to do this. They should not have been able to survive what we did to them. They should not have been able to learn our technology in a single generation. They should not have been able to turn it against us. What are they? And then, at the end, the warning that Dr. Yuna had shown the council, the warning that Velok had laughed at. Do not wake the humans. Do not provoke them. Do not corner them. They are kind until they are not, and then stars die. Morath sent the archive to every species in the council. She sent it to news networks and universities and libraries. She made sure the entire galaxy saw it. Then she sent a private message to High Arbiter Velok. "The humans gave us this archive for a reason. They want us to know what they are. They want us to understand what is coming." Her voice shook. "High Arbiter, you need to surrender. You need to apologize. You need to do it now, before they come." Velok's face was hard on the screen. "The Kreth do not surrender. The Kreth do not apologize. If the humans want war, we will give them war. And we will win. Well, Descenes." Well de scenes. 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 You will not. You cannot. Did you not read the archive? The precursors could move stars. They could break planets. And the humans destroyed them so completely that no one remembered they existed. What do you think the humans will do to you? Velok ended the transmission without answering. Morath sat alone in her quarters. Outside her window, ships from a dozen species were leaving Pelis 7, fleeing to their homeworlds. Everyone could feel it. Something was coming. Something terrible. The 16th day began, and the silence ended. Admiral Sung Ho had served in the human fleet for 35 years. He had seen battles and disasters and moments that tested everything he believed. But he had never commanded anything like this. The United Human Response Fleet was the largest military force humanity had ever assembled. 3,000 ships from every colony world. Crewed by people who had volunteered the moment they heard what happened on New Busan. They had trained in secret for 2 weeks, practicing moves that no one had ever tried before. Now they were ready. All ships report synchronized, his tactical officer said. Fold space drives are locked to your command. Sung Ho looked at the star map in front of him. It showed every Kreth military position in 3 sectors: fleet bases, weapons platforms, supply stations, 47 locations scattered across hundreds of light years. The human fleet would hit all of them at the same moment. Simultaneous fold space emergence at such scale was supposed to be impossible. The calculations were too complex. The timing was too precise. Even a tiny error would scatter ships across the galaxy or destroy them in transit. But humans were very good at doing impossible things. Admiral, Dr. Yuna said from her station. She had volunteered to serve as strategic advisor, and Sung Ho was glad to have her. Are you certain about this? Once we begin, we cannot take it back. I know, Sung Ho said. But we did not start this. The Kreth executed innocent people on New Busan. They wanted a war. Now they have one. He opened a channel to all ships. His voice went out to 3,000 crews, hundreds of thousands of people waiting for his word. This is Admiral Seong Ho. The Kreth believe we are weak. They believe our kindness means we will not fight. Today, we prove them wrong. He paused. But we are not here for revenge. We are not here to destroy. We are here to end this conflict so quickly and completely that no one will ever think of hurting our people again. Do your duty. Protect your crewmates. And remember who you are. He closed the channel and looked at the stars on his screen. Execute. The human fleet vanished into fold space and reappeared everywhere at once. General Karok was on his command ship above New Busan when his screens exploded with warnings. Enemy contacts. Dozens of them. No hundreds. Human ships appearing out of nothing all around his fleet. Impossible, he whispered. But it was happening. The human ships did not charge forward like other species did. They did not form lines or patterns. They moved like water flowing around the Kreth formations, surrounding them, cutting them off from each other. Karok shouted orders. His ships tried to respond. But something was wrong. His commands were not getting through. His communication network was full of noise and false signals. Some of his ships were receiving orders to power down. Others were being told to attack their own allies. The humans had broken into the Kreth command systems. It had taken them less than 3 minutes. Karok watched his fleet fall apart. Ships crashed into each other because they had wrong coordinates. Weapons fired at empty space because targeting systems showed enemies that were not there. Captains argued over contradictory orders, not knowing which ones were real. And through it all, the human ships moved with perfect coordination. They knew exactly where every Kreth vessel would be. They struck weak points that should have been secret. They disabled engines and weapons without destroying the ships themselves. They were not trying to kill. They were trying to capture. Karok realized the truth then. The humans could have destroyed his entire fleet in the first minute. They had the position, and the surprise, and the technology. But they chose not to. They wanted the Kreeth to see. They wanted them to understand how completely they had lost. On the surface of New Busan, the occupation was ending. Kreeth soldiers found their weapons locked. Their armor would not move. Their vehicles would not start. All the technology they had brought with them had turned against them at once. Governor Subin walked out of her hiding place. She had spent 2 weeks underground with her staff, directing the resistance through secret channels. Her people had not been idle during the silence. They had been digging, building, preparing. Tunnels now connected every part of the colony. Hidden rooms held supplies and weapons. Communication lines ran through the rock, where Kreeth sensors could not find them. 3 million people had worked together in secret, right under the enemy's nose. General Karok had thought the humans were doing nothing. He was wrong. Kreeth soldiers stood in the streets, unable to fight, unable to run. Human colonists surrounded them. Some of the colonists were crying, some were angry. Many had lost friends and family to the occupation, but no one attacked. Subin walked to where General Karok's ground commander stood frozen in his useless armor. She looked up at him. "You came here to make us angry," she said. "You killed our people to make us fight. You wanted to see human rage." The Kreeth commander said nothing. He could not move his jaw. "Here is what you do not understand about humans," Subin continued. "We feel anger. We feel it strongly. But we do not let it control us. We use it. We focus it. And we wait until the right moment to let it out." She gestured, and human soldiers began processing the captured Kreeth. They were not rough. They did not hurt them. They simply took their weapons and led them to holding areas. "We could kill you all," Subin said. "Every soldier in this city. Every ship in orbit. It would be easy. Part of me wants to." Her eyes hardened. "You killed 3 innocent farmers. You showed their deaths to the galaxy like it was entertainment. So yes, I want to hurt you." She turned away. "But that is not who we are. We are better than that. We are better than you." The battle, if it could be called a battle, lasted 6 hours across 3 sectors. Every Kreeth military position fell. Not one was destroyed. All were captured. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, all of them taken without a single human, using a weapon that could kill. It was the most complete military victory in galactic history. And it was just the beginning. Admiral Sung Ho brought his fleet to the Kreeth homeworld. He did not attack. He did not make demands. He simply positioned his ships in orbit and waited. High Arbiter Velok ordered his remaining forces to engage. They tried. Their weapons would not fire. Their engines would not move. The humans had done something to the entire Kreeth battle network, some kind of signal or code that made everything stop working. The Kreeth were helpless in their own space. Velok screamed at his officers. He screamed at his advisors. He screamed at the walls and the sky and anything else he could find. The most powerful military leader of the Kreeth Dominion had been beaten without losing a single ship in combat. The humans had not just defeated him, they had made him irrelevant. On his command ship, Admiral Sung Ho looked down at the Kreeth homeworld. It was a beautiful planet. Billions of people lived there, most of them innocent of any crime against humanity. "We could end them," his tactical officer said quietly. "We have the position. We have the weapons. After what they did to us." "No," Sung Ho said. "That is what they would do. That is not what we do." He opened a channel to the planet below. "This is Admiral Sung Ho of the United Human Fleet. The war is over. Your military has been captured. Your weapons have been disabled. You have lost." He paused. "But we are not here to conquer you. We are not here to destroy you. We are here to teach you something that the precursors learned 100,000 years ago." His voice grew colder. "Humanity is patient. We are kind. We build things and help people and try to make the galaxy better. But if you hurt us, if you kill our children and steal our worlds and give us no choice, we will not stop at defeating you." He thought of the 3 farmers who died on New Busan. He thought of their families. He thought of Governor Subin's hard eyes and her people's tears. "We will make you wish you had never existed." He closed the channel. Now came the real punishment. The galaxy waited to see what humanity would do. Everyone expected occupation. The humans would put soldiers on Kreth worlds, they thought. They would take resources and demand tribute. They would rule the Dominion as punishment for what happened on New Busan. That was what the Kreth would have done. That was what most species would have done. But humanity had something worse in mind. Admiral Seung-ho released the Kreth prisoners. All of them. Every soldier, every ship, every piece of equipment that had been captured. He gave them back and asked for nothing in return. He returned the captured worlds to Kreth control. He pulled his fleet back to human space. He did not leave a single ship behind. The war was over, and humanity wanted nothing from the species that had attacked them. This confused everyone. High Arbiter Velok declared it a victory. The humans were weak, he said. They did not have the courage to finish what they started. The Kreth had survived, and they would rebuild stronger than before. He was wrong. The real punishment came quietly, slowly, in ways that Velok did not understand until it was too late. Humanity had released the full precursor archive to every species in the galaxy. The documents showed exactly what humans were capable of. They showed how the most advanced civilization in history had tried to enslave prehistoric humans and been erased from existence for it. They also showed that the Kreth had ignored this warning and attacked humanity anyway. The galaxy's response was immediate. Trade agreements with the Kreth Dominion were cancelled. Diplomatic relations were suspended. Alliance treaties were ended. One by one, every species that had worked with the Kreth stepped away. No one wanted to be associated with people foolish enough to anger humanity. "This is unfair," Velok protested to the Galactic Council. "We acted within our rights. The inspection on New Busan was legal. You executed 3 innocent farmers." Councillor Morath said calmly. "You broadcast their deaths to the galaxy. You tried to provoke a war that would have killed millions. End. Farm. You considered it Dabligs. Apicide. You considered it Dabligs. They were spies. There was no evidence, no trial, no justice. Only Kreth, arrogance." Morath looked at him with something like pity. "You were warned, High Arbiter. The precursors warned you. The humans warned you. We warned you. You did not listen. So you punish us? You isolate us? We do not punish you. We simply choose not to be your friends anymore. That is our right, just as it was your right to attack New Busan." Velok's scales darkened with rage. This is humanity's doing. They planned this. They released that archive to turn everyone against us. "Yes," Morath agreed. "They did. And it worked. Perhaps you should have considered that possibility before you killed those farmers." The Kreth Dominion did not collapse from conquest. It collapsed from loneliness. Without trade partners, their economy shrank. Without allies, their military influence faded. Without diplomatic relations, they had no voice in galactic affairs. Within a year, Velok was removed from power by his own people. The Kreth were angry not at humanity, but at the leader who had brought this disaster upon them. They wanted to rebuild. They wanted to rejoin the galactic community, but no one trusted them anymore. 1 year after the conflict, Commander Taesu addressed the Galactic Council. He stood at the same center platform where Dr. Yuna had shown the precursor warning, where Velok had laughed and called humanity weak. The hall was full. Every species had sent representatives. They all wanted to hear what humanity would say. "We come before this council today with a simple request," Taesu said. His voice was calm, just as it had been a year ago. "We ask for peace. We ask for fair trade. We ask to be treated as equals among the species of this galaxy." He paused. "We do not ask for special treatment. We do not ask for power over others. We do not ask for revenge against those who wronged us. Counselor Morath spoke. And what of the Kreeth? They attacked your colony. They killed your people. Do you not want justice? Justice has been served, Tesu said. The Kreeth made a choice, and they have faced the consequences. We will not add to their suffering. If they wish to make peace with us, we will accept. If they wish to trade with us, we will agree. We are not their enemies. We never were. This surprised many in the council. After everything the Kreeth had done, humanity was willing to forgive? Tesu saw their confusion. He smiled slightly. This is what some of you do not understand about humans. We do not hold on to anger. We do not enjoy punishment. We want to build things, and help people, and explore the universe. That is our nature. His smile faded. But we also remember. We remember everything. And we want to leave you with a warning, not a threat, but a promise of who we are. He looked around the council chamber. Humanity is kind. We will help anyone who needs it. We will share what we have. We will work beside you as partners and friends. This is who we choose to be. His voice hardened. But if you harm our children, if you take our worlds, if you give us no choice, we will not stop at defeating you. We will make it so that you never mattered at all. Not through violence, not through destruction, but through making sure that every species in the galaxy knows what you did and chooses to turn away from you. He let the words settle over the silent hall. The precursors learned this lesson 100,000 years ago. He stepped back from the platform. Humanity requests full membership in the Galactic Council. We are ready to serve. The vote was held. It was unanimous. Later that night, Dr. Yuna found Commander Tesu on the observation deck of their ship. Stars filled the window. The same view they had shared a year ago when the Council first voted against humanity. Do you think they understand now? She asked. Tesu thought about it. Some of them, the ones who are wise, like Counselor Morath, they see what we really are. And the others? The others will watch and learn. They will see us help worlds in need. They will see us explore and discover and build. They will see that we mean what we say about wanting peace. And if someone else decides to test us, to ignore the warning like Velok did, Tesu looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Kreeth were trying to rebuild their broken dominion. Somewhere out there, other species were reading the precursor archive and wondering if they should be afraid of humanity. Then we will do what we always do, he said. We will wait. We will watch. We will give them every chance to stop. And if they do not, he did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. Dr. Yuna nodded slowly. The precursors asked what we are. I have been thinking about that question. Have you found an answer? She looked at the stars. We are the species that was kind to everyone who was kind to us. We are the species that helped build 100 worlds and asked nothing in return. We are the species that forgave enemies and turned them into friends. She paused. And we are the species that made the most powerful civilization in galactic history disappear so completely that no one remembered they existed. Both things are true. Both things are who we are. Tesu nodded. That is why they should remember the warning. Outside the window, the stars burned cold and bright. Humanity had won their place among them. They had proven what they could do. Now it was up to the galaxy to decide what happened next. The warning had been given. The choice was theirs.